What's up everyone, this is Scratch and I've got another video here for you. This is part of our Welcome to Xbox One video series that we're doing because I'm sure a whole bunch of you just got an Xbox One and are itching to find out about it, how to get around, how to do things, and so that's what this video series is going to kind of focus on. And it's completely customizable by you, so that means you can send me a message and say, can you show us how to do this, or I wish you would talk more about that on any of these videos that you may or may not see, and I'd be more than happy to deep dive into them. They're already a little bit long, so these ones are just going to be brief overviews, and in this particular video I'm going to talk about the dashboard itself, some navigation, tell you where stuff is and what you're looking at, so that you can kind of better understand how to get around and where to find things, and maybe answer some of your own questions about how to do something. You just kind of need to know where to look. Now, some of the more tricky things, or some of the other things that require a little bit more explanation, I'll probably do separate videos for those depending on the demand or whatever. But let's just jump into what we're looking at here. You know, on the dashboard as a whole. So I've mentioned this before, but along the top we have Home, Community, One Guide, and Store. And then down along the left you can see there's like some symbols similar to what you see in Windows 10. That is the guide. So this is considered the home screen, like the main page. And then I have my gamer tag and everything up in the upper left hand corner. And this is just kind of where you're going to come to, unless you have a setting called boot to TV, which will boot directly to your television. But this is kind of where you're going to come to when you first start up your Xbox. So to get around here, the first thing we're going to look at is I have YouTube. That was the last thing that I had up. This is like my main screen. If I press A right here, I'll actually go into the YouTube app. It's the last thing I was doing. And then these are the order of things that I was looking at before. So earlier today I was on the Xbox Preview dashboard because I'm a member of the Preview program. And I was looking at features in TV, the One Guide, and then I was playing The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, which is a free Games with Gold this month. So if you are a Gold subscriber, which we'll talk more about that shortly, but you can get that for free right now. So, and then all the way down here at the bottom is my stuff. So we have my pins that we talked about in the games, in the games video. And so here's all of those pins right there. So that's what we're looking at on there. And if I press the RB and LB button, I can zoom or scoot through the top here. And over here on the right, if I go down, I have Minecraft Holiday Pack, which is, some people would call this an advertisement. This is actually really just kind of letting me know there's some stuff I could buy for something that I'm interested in. And then there's fantastic deals and more if you're a Gold member. So we won't click on these yet. And then I can visit Help for Answers. So if you have questions or you're having a little bit of a hard time, you can press this button and it'll bring up the little help side screen there and help you out. So all the way up at the top, I can use my left stick to navigate around, or I can use the shortcuts to using the bumpers to jump between them and then go around. So if I go all the way to the left with the stick, or if I just double tap the home button, or I'm sorry, the Xbox button right here. If I double tap that from anywhere, I can be over here and I can be all the way down in games, and I can double tap and it's going to bring up, that is the guide. So we're going to take a look at the guide first. Oops, I hit too many buttons and went back to YouTube. So because I hit the B button, I went back out of the guide and it wants me to go to YouTube. So because I made that mistake, I'm just going to click the center button again one time, and that'll bring me right back to home. I can do that from anywhere. And then I'm going to press start, and I just want to quit out of that app, or not start, but the menu button, and I'm going to quit out of that app, and we're going to go back over to looking at the guide like I wanted to. So from anywhere, again, double tap the Xbox button logo on the top of the controller. It'll bring up your guide. So from top to bottom, it automatically brings you into your friends. So if we come over here, you look and you can see I can find a friend if I want to search for their gamer tag. I can sort by friends, recent players, and then friends that I've designated as my favorites. If I go back over here, I can go down. If I want to start a party is right there. So you can press start party, and then it'll bring up everybody. I don't have my and it's telling me that I can't find a microphone for these people, and it's me because I don't have a microphone chat headset plugged in. So it's warning me that I don't, which is kind of cool. So then I can have all my party options right here, so I can invite people, mute the party, switch to game chat, make it invite only, so only people can join. I can have a text chat, which is right here. The only people in the party can read, so it's kind of like just a little text chat, so it's pretty cool. You can jump over to that and say, my headset's not working, I'll be right back, or whatever, if the party's having a conversation and you don't want to talk over them. Next down we have our messages, and next down for privacy, I'll just skip over that. We have messages, and then down here I have all of my notifications. So I have 3 social notifications. I can see that some people are online and someone has added me as a friend. And I can clear those. I have the Xbox Preview dashboard is ready to start, and then all of these apps are ready to start. I can launch them right from here, mainly because I've just recently re-downloaded these because I factory reset my Xbox to show you guys this stuff. And then if we jump down here, we can go to all settings. We can turn off the console, restart the console, and then down here we can snap an app. So I can snap achievements, I can snap game DVR, or any of these sort of things down through here. I can take a look at them and launch these apps from there. So that's like a quick way to jump to your apps. The other way you can go to the apps is to, again, pull the trigger and jump down, and you go to My Games and Apps, and they're all right here on the side. So we looked at that with the games, but you can also launch them from there. The way the dashboard is kind of laid out, a lot of the stuff, it's just links that calls up the app. So you can either go search for the app individually. If you have Connect, which I definitely recommend, a lot of people seem to have reservations about it or whatever, and maybe it's just because you don't understand it, but the Connect is really awesome. If I had mine hooked up, which I need to get it back hooked up, I've said several times, I just haven't done it, but if I had my Connect hooked up, I could just talk and say, go here, go there, or whatever, launch this game or whatever, and go to achievements, snap game DVR, or whatever, and it's all right there. So that's kind of cool. Let's just take a look at the settings real quick. So we'll go to all settings. So you have your account. So this is where you're going to set your sign-in security and passkey and all of your preferences, content restrictions. If you can't do stuff, if you're like, I can't play games or I can't watch this stuff, come in here and check your content restrictions. Make sure everything is set to open. Make sure you don't have anything set that you may have accidentally set up. Personalization, I can change my profile, which there's another way to get to that. I can do my color and change my background, or I can set this as my home Xbox. Another video about home Xboxes coming up. Network settings, so I can go in here and I can check. You can see that I'm wired. I can see that my NAT is open. I can test connections. It's a little network center. You can just kind of take a look at it there. System, I can check for updates. I can change language and location, the time, storage, and signed out content restrictions. Preferences, so I can set notifications, which is interesting. So for example, I can say I don't want any Skype notifications, but I do want messages. Or I want them, but I don't want them during video. So if you're having a problem and you're like, geez, I'm not seeing anybody sign in when my friends hop online, which is something you're probably used to on the 360. Well, there's a setting here. So right now I have sign in for broadcasts and notifications from my friends, but they're set to favorites only. So unless I go to that particular friend and identify them as a favorite, I'm not going to see them sign in and offline all the time. I could say all friends. I could say I'd never want to see anybody sign in or offline. Or I could say let's do it, but don't show me if I'm watching a video. I usually set mine to favorites only because I tend to follow back if I can. I tend to follow back most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time I try to. If I know who you are or whatever. I don't follow randoms, but... So I usually just set it to favorite only because I have like 200 and some friends, so it would be going off all the time. So I just set it to favorites only. If I get a new follower or someone adds me as a friend, I have that notification on so I can see if I know who it is. And my activity feed, so if you go in and like something of mine, which we'll talk about activity feeds here in a little while, I can see that there. And that's what we have set up for notifications. So if you're not seeing them or you're not used to them, they do work a little bit differently on Xbox One. So that's where it's going to be. This is where you're going to say like game DVR and streaming. This is where you're going to allow yourself to do that. So for example, if you're like, you know, I can't broadcast or whatever to Twitch or something like that. There's a number of reasons it could be. This could be one of them, because maybe you have yourself set to not allowed to do that. So you can go in there and change that. Smart glass connections, you can, from any smart glass device can connect to this Xbox, or you can say only people who are signed into this Xbox can connect with their smart glass. This keeps your friends from jumping on your device and wreaking havoc from you. Or you can say don't allow any smart glass connections at all. You don't want anybody, even yourself, to be able to do it. So that's where that is. And then preferred video provider, which I don't have any because I don't have TV in here. But you can set that stuff there. So connect in devices, this is where you're going to set up and manage your Connect. This is where you'll manage your devices and accessories such as your controller, and this is telling me that I have this controller is assigned to me right now. Display and sound, so we're going to change all that stuff. You guys probably know most of that. This is to turn off or restart, and then this is the power and startup mode that we talked about earlier. So we have on start, go to TV, or when Xbox is off, turn off storage, automatically download updates and purchases, or wake up by saying Xbox on if you have Connect. You can use the power mode to instant on, so that's kind of cool. And then plus customize each of the things that it does. So disc and Blu-ray, so those are just settings there. For example, if I click on that, it just tells me what the subtitles are, and the these are basically just like the universal settings for Blu-rays. So you want to make sure that those are set there. This is your TV in one guide. This is where you're going to control device control. So if you want your Xbox to, if you have Connect and you want your TV to turn off when you turn your Xbox off, all of that stuff is done right through here. And you can also get troubleshooting tips and helps by clicking on that last one. And then ease of access, if you require any sort of or need to have any sort of ability to have something narrated, or magnification, closed captioning, high contrast, which kind of changes the color scheme a little bit. I'll actually just show you that real quick. You can see how it looks. It makes it look a little different. All of those settings are done right through here. And one that's really interesting is button mapping. So this is a new thing with the update. You can actually connect a controller, and I can configure it for button mapping. I can swap the sticks. I can invert the right stick in the y-axis or left stick y-axis. Swap the triggers around. I can actually go in and say that I want the controller A button to be mapped to the X button if I wanted to. You can completely customize the controller, and then this is also used for the Elite controller, which has even more options on it. I have one of those coming, which will have some videos on that as well. But that's pretty cool. You can actually remap the buttons. So if you want to do it for game purposes, or anybody with a disability or a handicap, you may be able to change the button mapping on the controller a little bit to kind of help you, which is something we've not had before. So I think that's actually really cool. And the first thing that we kind of skipped over at the top over here, so I'm going to double tap the home button. We're going to go up here to have myself signed in. So we're going to look here. We have my profile. I can look at my achievements, or I can sign out if I want. So I'm going to go to my profile. So that's going to bring up what I look like on Xbox One to everybody else. You can see my gamer score in the top, and then my gamer tag. It tells what I'm doing. I'm on Xbox One Social, and you can see that it has a little bit of a bio. It shows my friends, followers, location, and all that sort of thing. And then down here I can choose to appear offline. I can customize my profile, which we'll go over in another video. And then I can change my own personal privacy settings. And these are going to link right back over to the settings that we just went through. So it's just kind of it's the same, it's a different way to get to the same place. This feed right here is just showing what I've done. So I've unlocked some achievements here earlier today. This is what my friends will see when they look and see what I've been doing on Xbox. Again, this is all also customizable in the settings. I can choose who gets to see this and who doesn't, and that sort of thing there. If I go to achievements, this would have been the same thing that would have come up if I would have clicked on my achievements just a moment ago instead of my profile, but I can come through here and I can take a look, and it shows my 360 games. It shows new game 6180 The Moon that I just completed 100% yesterday. It's easy gamer score if you're into that, and it kind of shows it all there. For example, if I click on this, it's kind of cool. I get to see, I can compare with friends. Whoops. Compare with friends, or I can look. It took me 5 hours to get 100% of the achievements, because that's all I played it, and it tells me how many deaths and jumps, and there's all kinds of neat little tidbits in there, and then plus it kind of shows you what the achievements are there. Also, by clicking on the game, that's taking me to the game hub, which we talked about in another video, because as you can see here, I can come over here and I can get the info on the game. But I'm just going to press B to go back from whence I came. Next up, we have following and followers. So this is where I'm going to take a look at all of my friends. Now, there's a little bit of a difference thing within the Xbox One friend system. People can follow you. For example, I have 693 people currently following me, and then I am following 260 people. That's what those numbers mean. So that's what my friends are, and then this is what it's showing you. So I can look at my friends' games. So if I follow like just some of the games, this is going to show up in the activity feed, which we'll get to again. Let's see what else. Whoops, I just went right out of that. If you press B too much, it does get you out, which is good, but not when you're trying to do this. Okay, so if I go here, I can look at my followers. I can look at people that I've blocked and people that I've muted. So muted means like if you're in a party and you have to mute someone, and then you get out of the party and you forget to unmute them, you can just come here and do it. Same thing with blocked. Anybody that you've blocked, you can take a look at there. And I can take a look at all of my followers here. So this is going to show me the 693 people. There's 150 of them online right now. At least that's what it looks like. Maybe not. So next up we have captures. So this is everything that I've captured. We can look at some gameplays. So if you have Connect, you can say Xbox record that, Xbox take a screenshot, or you can just do it within the game by double tapping, and it'll actually show up there next to where my name is, and you can do it without Connect. But this is kind of cool. So if I play this for you guys, I can come in here and I can see, we can watch my clip, and you can see that Kova9803 likes it. It doesn't have any comments, and I did this on Tuesday, and then it was just a glitch. A friend of mine, Freak Train, and I were playing, and Ace Attorney were playing Halo, and we got into this area, and there was some really weird things going on, so I just thought that was kind of funny. So I can go to my profile, I can go to the Halo 5 Guardians Game Hub, I can delete the post, or I can add a caption and save it if I want to do that. So that's pretty much it on the captures. So we're going to jump all the way back out here to the main, and then we're going to go over and we're going to talk about community. So community, this is the activity feed that I was telling you about. We saw my activity feed, but this is all of my friends' activity feeds that are showing up here. So we can see that Quick has unlocked Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain achievement called The Awakening for 15 gamer score. So if I wanted to go and comment on that, 2 people like it. No one has commented, so I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna like it, and then I will say cool, because I think it's cool. So I want him to know that I think it's cool, so I'm just gonna type that there, And there you have it. So now when he gets on, he'll get a notification in his activity feed that I've commented, and he can see what I commented on and what I said. So that's kind of cool, and we can look at that all over here. The other thing that you want to do is if you want to share something, if I want to save, it's kind of like a Twitter timeline. I could type it here, and I could post something. I could post videos and screenshots. You can share a bunch of stuff. And then over here on the right, we have things that are kind of happening now within the community. So we could watch a video about this week on Xbox, most powerful tanks, screenshots, and battlefield brawls. And then the cartographer's gift update is here, so that's kind of like an announcement. And then there's fan-made videos that have tips. I don't know that these necessarily have tips in them because it looks to me like they're just popular game clips. But they're interesting nonetheless because, for example, 959 people thought this video was worth watching. And so that's why it's kind of bubbled up to the top here. This one is a little bit more relevant. However, the cartographer's gift update is here. If I click on that, it takes me to the Halo 5 Guardians game hub and into their feed, and I can see that jump into Halo 5 and experience all new Forge maps and Arena and Warzone, social playlists, and more, which is really awesome. So this is 343 Industries is kind of announcing what's going on. Breakout's only available for a few more hours in Halo 5. This was back on the 13th, so it looks like I missed that or whatever. But you can kind of come back through here and see what they've been doing. So that's pretty cool. Those are game hubs. This is linking to something on a game hub that's relevant to myself. So if we jump over here to the one guide, this is where we can kind of see what's going on in terms of entertainment. So if you have live TV set up, your live TV will show in here. YouTube and TV comedy are two of my favorite app channels, so I can kind of see what's playing on those for gaming live. And then there's top comedy and TV, so South Park, Family Guy, Big Bang Theory. The thing I love about this, however, is to discover the app channels. I can go through here on the Xbox One in one place and find out everything that's on. If I let's go for let's do TV shows from apps, for example. So if I look here, I can see what's on VH1. I can see what's on Bravo now. I can see what's on Stars Play, the originals, critically acclaimed television. Now, I probably have to buy these or subscribe to them or whatever. Each one is a little bit different, but I can see where I'm going to be able to find this content on what apps have it, because as you know, with licensing deals and things, you're not going to get Spartacus Vengeance on Bravo. But maybe you know about Spartacus Vengeance and you know you want to watch it, but you're not sure what app is going to have that or what you want to subscribe to or whatever. So you can kind of look here, and it's actually pretty cool. And this is also where you can download your own TV shows, movies, and things like that, and they'll show up there as well. So in order to populate that, we're going to go over here to the store. Now notice when I get to store, it goes to games, apps, movies and TV, and music. Now movies and TV are just going to take me back to the same places I was just looking at. Music is going to do something similar, but I can take a look at what music are top albums and all of that sort of stuff, so that's pretty cool. But let's look at the apps. We have Hulu, NHL, Sci-Fi, IGN, new releases. The Mall just came out, looks like. NBC, World Gaming has a new app out, and I can see all of them if I want to. Or go to games. Unravel is a new game coming out, and it's available now for pre-order. There's an in-game update available. So the store, even though it is telling you stuff, it's telling me I can get discounts with EA Access. I can get rewarded if I collect these games, for example. So let's just click on that. This is for Xbox Live Rewards, and it's telling me like, hey, if you buy these games, you're going to get rewarded for things and earn rewards up to $60 in value. I could click on that and find out about it. So it's a lot about discoverability as well, not necessarily just trying to get you to buy stuff. So if there's deals and things going on, they've put all of that and peppered it all throughout just the store itself. So that's kind of cool. So we can search games, browse games, or we can take a look at coming soon, new releases, and all of that sort of stuff, which we talked about earlier. This is where you're going to go and click on it. If I come in here to the store, I can pre-order it. Because I am an EA Access member, I can pre-order it for $17.99. We'll talk about EA Access later. And I can see that the release date is coming on February 9th. I can view the game hub. We can go back and find out what the game is doing. I can watch the trailers. I can check out some images if I want to. There's 3 of 8 images here. Maybe they're not going to load for me. There we go. So I can look at the game images. It looks like it loaded all 8. That's why it took for a while there, or at least the 2. So anyways, I can take a look at the game images and kind of see if it's something I like. It's better with EA Access, so there's a little bit of a cross promotion there, where I can click on what does that mean? What does better with EA Access mean? So you can find out about the EA Access hub, which is actually a really good deal. And I can rate it, and maybe if I pre-order it, it's not out until February, I can pin it to home, and then when I click on this one time and then I pull the trigger and jump all the way down, I can see that Unravel is pinned to home now. So even though I can't play it, if I bought it and I have it pre-ordered, maybe I want to pin it to the home and know that it's there so I don't forget about it, or whatever, depending on how far in advance you pre-order the stuff. So I'm probably going way longer, but that's basically just an in-depth overview of everything that there is to have and how to navigate and where to find things. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and we'll do our best to answer it or get you pointed in the right direction. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.